No.
There's a few of us. Do you enjoy it? The people that do? Yeah. Good fun? Keep doing that? You're all saying yeah, like yeah.
Oh,
It's not quite that exciting.
It's not that exciting.
Do it on a regular basis, but it's not always exciting.
Always exciting.
No.
Okay.
Depending on the people.
Depending on the people, I'm gonna do my best to give you something to live with, and some value, some things that maybe you're gonna go back and be able to use as a client. One thing that I can say is that I know, because I've been to many trainings for many years and studied psychology. Most people, when they say there's a sales trainer or something like that, or a mentor, whatever, we've all been. How long have you guys been selling as well? Just give me a little thing so that I understand. I know you guys probably have more experience than me.
Should we? A long time.
10 years. Okay, who's been selling for 10 years? Okay, who's been selling for 15 years? 15, who's been selling for 20? Okay, 25? Okay, 30. You're 25, yeah? And you're about 20. Okay, 20, more than 25.
Yeah.
30. 30 years. So you must be pretty good at it.
Not bad, I suppose.
When you say I suppose, what do you mean?
No, I've got reasonable results, but it's good and bad in sales. And I've always thought the amount of effort you put in at one end comes through in the results at the other end.
Sure.
You know, you could say part of it is luck, but a lot of it is the effort that goes in to get the results at the other end.
Okay, what part of it is luck?
Occasionally you're lucky, but you can't rely on luck. That's what I mean.
Okay, is that like labour under correct knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't rely on it, did you say?
You can't rely on the luck factor.
Okay. How do you work around that?
Well, like I said, the amount of effort you put in, and keeping a clear sort of note of if somebody doesn't want to talk to you for 3 months, you don't talk to them for 3 months,
Okay.
but you call them back when you've agreed to call them back.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
When they're ready.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's just.
Or you can phone them too
It's like
often,
harassment.
and they'll not want to talk to you at all.
Okay. How long does it take you to? What's the short? What do you sell first of all?
Printing.
Printing. Oh right. Okay, it's a nice easy business.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
It used to be.
Right. Okay. Well, how long does it take you then? What's the shortest from the time you go and see the person to the time he becomes a customer? Because it's not a client, it's a customer. He orders one thing from you. What's the shortest and what's the longest?
The shortest lead time I've had is probably literally phoning someone up, giving them a quote, and they place an order within an hour. The longest I've had is 3 years.
Sorry, how long?
3 years.
Wow. This was it a big quote? Quite a big
Yeah.
company. Okay.
It was actually for the 17-volume set of the Register of Recs of the UK for Lloyd for shipping.
Right. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's quite impressive. Can anybody else connect with what you're saying?
Absolutely.
What do you guys sell?
Exactly the same thing, but slightly different. I'm in a blind printer for lots of digital.
What about you, Stephanie?
Language services.
Oh, of course, language services. Okay, yeah. Robert?
Graphic design.
Graphic design. Mark?
Graphic design.
Yes, it's more.
And marketing.
So you're selling pretty similar things, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
Related.
Okay. How many of you have been on any formal sales training of any kind before? Okay, which one did you?
Mercury Goldman.
Okay.
Was it Selling by Objectives? Have you heard of that one?
Okay. Oh, yeah, I have, actually. Yeah.
All sorts of other ones, but a lot were more sort of designed, depending on the company I was with. They got someone in and had a bespoke course run. Major accounts selling I've done.
Okay. So you've been on quite a few selling courses. Okay. Did you find them helpful?
Oh yeah. And I always find them helpful.
Sure. Did it help you to maybe close more business?
Yes, and refocus what I did. And certain skills you may have picked up in the past, you might get some bad habits, and it helps you refocus to get in the right direction.
Sure. What's the most useful thing that you learned before that you're still using today?
Answering open questions, or asking open questions.
Asking an open. Okay, give me an example of how you ask an open question.
How many copies do you produce a year?
I see, so I can't say yes or no, I have to give you an answer. So if I say 28,000,
Yeah.
I have to give you an answer, I'm not
I'm asking questions where it can't be yes or no answer to.
Okay. Well, that sounds okay, because you get the dialogue. Okay. Thank you very much. What's your first name?
Mark.
Mark. Thank you very much for that. Mark and Mark.
Got with the hand, yeah.
Marky. Okay, thank you very much for that, because that's really, really helpful. Because it's important that I know what journey you guys have taken and where you've been before. That's great. Bob, do you want to add anything to this at all?
No, not really. I mean, I would agree with that sometimes you'll find a sale is a lot easier, but it can sometimes comes unexpectedly, and sometimes you do have to really work it. So, and certainly in the photographic business, it's harder these days to sell because there's more competition out there, more young guys coming in and this sort of thing, so you've got to work a bit harder. But I have because I'm established and I do TV and we've got our model agency and God knows what, I find a lot of stuff comes to you on your name eventually.
Sure.
And that's a much easier way to sell than having to go out and sell cold,
Who makes cold calls here, Bob? How many do you make every morning?
I try to do at least 15 a day.
Awesome. And you do it every day or every 2 days?
If I don't do it, I then have a busier day the next day.
Okay, excellent. That's well done. What about you, Bob? Do you make cold calls every day?
No, I don't.
You don't need to.
No, I don't, quite honestly. I mean, no.
Okay, all right.
I should do, but don't.
I like that.
So,
Shouldn't. You shouldn't. It's like shouldn't all over yourself,
Yeah.
But there's a good play on words. Okay. Okay. I get the sense from where we are. Okay. Now, Are you guys all up for having fun? Are you sure? Because I don't want to make this a boring theory session. I can go on forever talking about psychology, but that'll be boring for you. So I want to have a bit of fun. In sales training before, right? Okay, just correct me if I've got this wrong. Okay. I was looking at something on the net for a talk I did in London, and they said, we're a sales training company and this is what we can teach you. Big letters. And they said the first thing was, but what they said is, this is not my thought, I'm just going by showing you what I saw from other people doing. But what they said is we can show you how to reposition your features and benefits to get better results. Okay, that's what they said. It's not right or wrong. It's just what they said. Have you been on any sales training before and they've focused on any of that stuff? Yeah,
It's been discussed. Yeah.
It's been discussed.
But I did something on one of them, which was objection analysis.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you ask a question and they come up with an objection, you've already worked out your answers.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's do that one. That's a good one. So objection. What did you call it? Objection analysis.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lovely word. Okay. Objection analysis. My spelling is not brilliant. I admit that.
Yeah, I've got them.
There's this word in here as well, actually, but you don't have to spell to sell.
No.
I have to get that one in there. Okay. So what else did they? So they did objection analysis. So they analysed. Explain to me what this objection analysis is.
If I was to say to someone, have you ever used digital printing?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say no. You then might
Can't guarantee the colours.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might come up with a reason as to why that cost savings or other benefits. Well, coming to the benefit.
So in other words, if they give you an objection, you analyse it, and they teach you how to deal with the objection.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fine. Okay.
I mean, so you have several answers ready.
Yeah.
Ready. All right. Because I made cold calls before, yeah, and then I stopped because it was just awful. And some people sometimes, give me an answer. They had objections and they didn't know what to answer. And it was just
But if you were going to do a speech at a family wedding or something, you'd prepare in advance and you'd think it through.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing.
All right.
Okay. Okay. What else? What else have they taught you before on sales training? Have they ever said about? Does anybody go around finding the need?
I was going to come to that.
Maybe
One of the best things I was ever told was creating a situation where the need to buy is greater than the need to sell.
Okay. Go on, embellish on that.
Well, so that the person you're talking to actually wants to work with you,
Okay.
and is keener to work with you than you are to try and sell to them.
Okay. How do you do that?
Well, you're listening to what they're doing, you're focusing on their company, their problems, almost sort of selling the pain, their pain and problems. So they actually feel, I've got to be working with these people because they're going to take all this pain away from me.
Okay. Okay. So give me an example of that in a live scenario.
I've been in, and some people I'm working with, they might spend an absolute fortune on warehousing. They might have a lot of obsolete stock that they then pulp. I've shown them ways to actually sort of print in a way where they're printing to their orders. And there's no warehouse. The warehouse is just an electronic warehouse.
Oh, right, okay. So I'm just going to put, okay, so just purely out of interest, when you go and see the people, and what you're saying is great, how, just roughly, some people measure it, some people don't, you know, and we're all amongst friends here, I hope, but how many would you close roughly out of 10 people that you go and see? Is it quite high? Is it like sort of 8 or 9?
No.
Okay, lower than, was it lower?
If I talk to 20, I might close 1 or 2.
Okay.
In a pretty tree, that's good.
Mm.
That's
Wow.
very good.
That's good, is it?
That's good. Yeah.
But I might get